What's going on YouTube? This is Austin here from Austin and Dakota coming at you again with another video for you guys tonight and tonight. A while ago I did my updated old school rap CD collection, and tonight I thought I would do my rock and metal CD collection. This is going to be one of several different parts, considering I own a whole bunch of rock and metal and I love it so much. So I'm not going to waste any more time and crack on with it. This is like a really small box, so we'll probably breeze through it in one part. Discographies like Bloodbath, I will show that at the very end. But everything else I will show at the same time. So here we go. First album up I have is... Oh, I'm going to have a lot of metal in here. So we're going to get black metal, death metal, thrash metal, and heavy metal. I forgot to mention that. So here we go. Dying Fetus, Descend into Depravity. Good album by Dying Fetus. This one I did enjoy. However, they kind of strayed away from their grindcore sound a little bit. But it's got some good tracks on here. I mean, Your Treachery Will Die With You, Hopeless Insurrection, Conceived into Enslavement. Really enjoyed this one. However, their early grindcore stuff way back in the day, my opinion, was just better. Morbid Angel, their 6th album, Gateways to Annihilation. This was released in 2000. I find this to be a really underrated Morbid Angel album. While it's not Altars of Madness or Blessed Are the Sick or Covenant, I really liked this one. However, I still think the first three Morbid Angel albums are the best Morbid Angel albums. But I still like Gateways to Annihilation. I mean, Summoning Redemption, Ageless, Still I Am, To the Victor, The Spoils, At One with Nothing. I really enjoyed this one. However, the first 3 Morbid Angel albums are the best Morbid Angel albums, in my opinion, and the best sounding Morbid Angel albums. Especially the first one, Altars of Madness. Wow. Alright, I got a few Disturbed. Disturbed, 4th album, Indestructible. This came out in 2008. 2008? I think I have a year on this. 2008. Good album by Disturbed. Really like this one. Perfect Insanity was like my introduction to Disturbed, believe it or not. That was featured on the SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 soundtrack. But other than that, great album. Great album. Love it. Singles off this album are Indestructible, Inside the Fire, Perfect Insanity, and The Night. Those are the singles off the album, but my 3 favorite tracks, I'd say, are Perfect Insanity, Enough, and Haunted being my number 1 favorite. But yeah, love this one. Definitely check it out. Disturbed kind of shifted their sound a little bit, and after a certain album, which you'll see in a minute, and I don't like Disturbed after that, but I still listen to them. I believe their 5th album, Asylum. This came out in 2010. Yep, 2010. Good one. This is another good one by Disturbed. I like this one. I love the cover art to it. The guy and all that. Really good. Love this album. Love this album. Love Asylum. I believe the singles off the album were Another Way to Die, The Animal, Warrior, and I think The Infection. I'm not sure, but Another Way to Die being my favorite track off this album. Really enjoyed this one. Alright, moving right along. Next up, Immortalized. This came out in 2015. Yep, 2015. Yeah, really like this one. To me, the last good Disturbed album, in my honest opinion. I don't like Evolution. I'm sorry. Even though Evolution was their worst album. I heard that Divisive was not as good, or not better than freaking Evolution. Their Divisive was pretty bad. But Disturbed, they're give or take in my opinion. I can still listen to them. My honest opinion, the first 4 Disturbed albums are the best Disturbed albums. So that'd be The Sickness, Believe, 10,000 Fists, and Indestructible. Asylum is really good. Indestructible, or Immortalized is great. Anything after Immortalized, I don't like. And this is the deluxe edition to Immortalized too. I got super lucky with this one. Singles off the album are The Vengeful One being the big single, The Light, The Sound of Silence, and Open Your Eyes. The Sound of Silence, Chef's Kiss, amazing cover. The Vengeful One, The Light, and The Sound of Silence all have videos for me. If you haven't heard The Sound of Silence, what are you waiting for? Go listen to The Sound of Silence. It's incredible. My 3 favorite tracks off the album are You're Mine, The Vengeful One, and for number 1, it's a 2-way tie between Who Taught You How to Hate and Never Wrong. But yeah, really enjoyed that album. Evolution I thought was not good in my opinion. I like the tracks, my favorite tracks off that are You Ready, Reason to Fight, Hold On to Memories, and The Best Ones Lie being my number 1 favorite. I just don't know what happened with Disturbed after that album. After Immortalized, I don't know. But moving on. Darkthrone, A Blaze in the Northern Sky. One of my most sought after Darkthrone albums. Because I had one album from Darkthrone, and then I got Under a Funeral Moon, and then this one. Pound for Pound. They're one of my favorite black metal bands right now. I don't own everything they put out. I like this era of Darkthrone. But like I said, A Blaze in the Northern Sky was one of my most sought after Darkthrone albums. In fact, one of my most sought after metal albums in general. Because after Soulside Journey, this album came out. Soulside Journey, for those that don't know, was Darkthrone's first album, and that was strictly a death metal album. And after that, there was no transition period. They went from being a straightforward death metal band to being a black metal band. My opinion, this was a fantastic album, a stone cold classic in the genre of black metal. This was back when they were a 3-piece, so you had Fenris, Sapphirus, and Nocturnal Culto. But yeah, such a classic album. I love this one. I mean, In the Shadow of the Horns, that beginning part where that riff just kicks in and you hear somebody laughing, and then it goes din 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 din. You all know it. You guys should know that one. If you don't, then go listen to it. If you haven't heard In the Shadow of the Horns, in my personal opinion, you're a fake Darkthrone. You're a fake fan of Darkthrone. Literally. Because I'm a huge Darkthrone fan. I can listen to Darkthrone any given day. But yeah, love A Blaze in the Northern Sky. Sticking with Darkthrone, this is their 3rd album, Under a Funeral Moon. This came out in 1993. This, in my opinion, is a bit better than A Blaze in the Northern Sky. Just my opinion, I think this one's a bit better. But yeah, again, another classic album by Darkthrone. Love this one. I mean, Natasha and Eternal Sleep, The Dance of Eternal Shadows, To Walk the Infernal Fields, Under a Funeral Moon. This would actually be Sapphirus' last appearance with Darkthrone, because he left after this album was released. Kind of a shame, because he was excellent on electric lead guitar. Would have been very interesting to see him stick around for the next album I'm about ready to show, but yeah, love Under a Funeral Moon. Trying to get more Darkthrone, because I only have this album and another album by Darkthrone. You will see in part 2. Sorry guys, I'm going to take a slight pause there. I know the camera's going, but... So yeah, this one is my favorite. Darkthrone, 4th album, Transylvanian Hunger. This came out in 1994. Easily my favorite Darkthrone album. Yeah, I've said it. This is my favorite Darkthrone album. And this is my favorite black metal album of all time. I mean, Fenriz writing some of the lyrics for this, and then you got Varg Vikernes of Mayhem and Burzum, or Burzum, as it was known at the time. Burzum was like one of the forefathers of black metal. But yeah, he helped write some lyrics for this album. But yeah, love this one. This, in my opinion, was when they harnessed that Norwegian sound. But yeah, definitely would recommend this one. Any of the Unholy Trinity of black metal by Darkthrone, I would recommend. Oh, almost pulled out another album at the same time. Death. Second album. This is their second album, Leprosy. This came out in 1988. This is my favorite Death album. People say either spiritual healing, human, symbolic. I can understand that, because Death's discography is pretty flawless in my opinion. But yeah, really like this one. Even Individual Thought Patterns, which I heard was their best, but this is the only Death album I have. The jewel case is broke on this, so I will not be opening it, sadly. But as you can see, it's a reissue. It comes with the CD, and disc 2 is has all the rehearsal stuff on it. Yeah, as you can see, it's broke. 100% broke. Which really makes me mad. It actually came broke. The jewel case came broke. So I'm going to get a whole new jewel case for this. But yeah, Leprosy, Born Dead, Pull the Plug, Open Casket. I mean, what more could you want? Classic Death, in my opinion. Next up, Cannibal Corpse, Gore Obsessed. This came out in 2002. This is my favorite Cannibal Corpse album with Corpse Grinder on it. In fact, this is kind of pushing to becoming my favorite Cannibal Corpse album of all time. It's pushing it. But at the same time, though, Tomb of the Mutilated is my favorite Cannibal Corpse album, which I don't have, and it's really hard to find. I'm trying to find it. But Gore Obsessed, yeah, I love this one. Absolutely love this one. I just recently heard their latest offering, Chaos Horrific. Absolutely loved Chaos Horrific. Check out Chaos Horrific if you haven't already. It's excellent. Love that album. And I'll get that soon. 3 favorite tracks off this album, I'd say Compelled to Lacerate, Mutation of the Cadaver, and Pit of Zombies being my number 1 favorite track off this album. But yeah, absolutely love Gore Obsessed. Definitely check it out. The only other Cannibal Corpse album I have, as the disc wants to fall out to it, Butchered at Birth. This came out in 1991. This is a classic Cannibal Corpse album. This was when Chris Barnes' vocals was going more towards that guttural sound. This is a reissue, which has a bonus track, a bonus live track on it. Classic album. Yeah, this was when Chris Barnes was shifting his vocals to more of a guttural sound. But yeah, absolutely love Butchered at Birth. The album cover is freaking sick, man. Sick, sick, sick. But it's classic album artwork. I don't even know if I'm able to show it or not, but oh well, just did. I mean, Meat Hook Sodomy, Gutted, Butchered at Birth, Covered with Sores. I know Glenn Benton does vocals for one song off this album. It's either Rancid Amputation or Vomit the Soul that he's on, but I don't know. But yeah, I love this album. Moving right along. Cannabis Corpse, Left Hand Pass. This came out in 2017, sorry. I like this album. I like Cannabis Corpse. This is a marijuana-themed death metal band. Really cool, really funny stuff, but at the same time, though, it's really good. I love the 420th Crusade. And this is actually the only Cannabis Corpse album I have. This is the only one, but yeah. My opinion, this is the only Cannabis Corpse album you need. This is my favorite one. But my favorite song by them is From Enslavement to Hydrobliteration. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. If you're looking for a good cheesy death metal band, I would definitely check out Cannabis Corpse. They're really good and really, really funny. If I can get this one out. Okay. Bolt Thrower. War Master. This came out in 1991. This is the quintessential Bolt Thrower album. And this is my favorite Bolt Thrower album. Everyone's favorite album by Bolt Thrower. And I don't have much to say about this because I agree with everybody. As far as my favorite Bolt Thrower albums go, I'd say War Master, Mercenary, and Those Once Loyal. Those are my favorite ones. I'm not crazy about Honor, Valor, Pride, because I know Carl Willits didn't do vocals for that album. But still, though, I like Bolt Thrower. Yeah, definitely check this one out. I mean, What Dwells Within, The Shreds of Sanity, Destructive Infinity, Rebirth of Humanity. Yeah, I love this album. Great, great album. Black Sabbath, Paranoid. This came out in 1970. I don't care for the song Paranoid. It is so overplayed and overrated. It's not even Black Sabbath's best song. Anything I'd say Iron Man or War Pigs. Easily. And I have yet to listen to this album. I've had it for so long, I have yet to listen to it. And in fact, the case is actually starting to get worn out. In fact, there's stuff in this freaking case, and I don't know what it is. That shows you how old the album is, because I've had it for a while. Bad Wolves. Dear Monsters. This came out in 2021, so just a couple years ago. I think 2021. Let me look. Yep. This is my favorite Bad Wolves album. This is the first one that doesn't have Tommy Vext on lead vocals, because Tommy Vext had a falling out with the group because of backstage politics. First one to feature Daniel Laskowitz on it, and it's amazing. I like his vocal performance on it. It's awesome. Definitely check it out. Singles off this album are Lifeline, Comatose, If Tomorrow Never Comes, and I think Sacred Kiss were the 4 singles. But yeah, I love Dear Monsters. If I had to pick my favorite tracks off the album, I'd say House of Cards, Lifeline, Comatose, and If Tomorrow Never Comes in Springfield Summer being my favorite track. Love that one. Avenged Sevenfold. The self-titled album or the White Album. This was released in 2007. Oh, I forgot to mention the release date of Paranoid. That came out in 1970. This came out in 2007. This is my favorite Avenged Sevenfold album. I believe this is the band's 4th album, if I'm correct. But yeah, this is a good one. Love this one. It's also known as the White Album by many, or the self-titled album. Yeah, really like this one a lot. Singles off this album are Critical Acclaim, Afterlife, A Little Piece of Heaven, and Dear God, if I'm correct. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. Dear God being my favorite track. Alestorm, Black Sails at Midnight. This came out in 2009. This is my favorite Alestorm album. Love this album. Great pirate metal. For those that don't know what pirate metal is, it is metal music infused with pirate themes in it. So if you're looking for a good one, I'd definitely recommend Alestorm. They are amazing. They're a really fun, creative band. Love this album. It's excellent. Favorite tracks off this album, I'd say Leviathan, Wolves of the Sea, Black Sails at Midnight, and Keelhauled. Love Keelhauled. Alright, we're almost done. Advent, Remove the Earth. This came out in 2008. I believe this is the band's debut album. I don't know much about Advent, because I got this and it was a blind buy. But yes, Love this album. Great metalcore. Favorite track off this album, I'd say, is either The Anger of Death or 3 Seasons. Love this album. Great album by Advent. Alright. We're almost done. Nile. Annihilation of the Wicked. This came out in 2005. This is a good one by Nile. Maybe my favorite Nile album. I don't know. I don't know much about Nile. But I know the song Sacrifice Unto Sebek is like the best track on this album. Yeah, I love this album. Really freaking good. Alright, before we get to my Bloodbath albums, I got one other album I want to show. Inquisition. Ominous Doctrines of the Perpetual Mystical Macrocosm. That was a mouthful. If you don't, for those that don't know who Inquisition is, they are an American black metal band, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, fantastic album. One of my favorite black metal bands of all time. Yeah, love this album. Desolate Funeral Chant. My favorite track off this album. So I definitely recommend this one. Inquisition, Ominous Doctrines of the Perpetual Mystical Macrocosm. Okay, now we are on to the final part of the CD collection. And that would be my Bloodbath CDs. Absolutely love Bloodbath. Great Swedish death metal supergroup, whatever you want to call them. So we have to start back at the beginning, and that would be Breeding Death. This came out in 2000. Really good one. This is just a short, very short EP, very short. This had Michael Ackerfeld on lead vocals from Opeth. But yeah, definitely would recommend this one. I don't have Resurrection Through Carnage. If I can find that album going for cheap one of these days, I'll buy it. Moving on. This is the band's second album, Nightmares Made Flesh. This came out in 2004. This is my favorite Bloodbath album. And in my opinion, it's got the best Bloodbath lineup on it. With Peter Tägtgren of Hypocrisy doing lead vocals. A really brutal, heavy sounding album. That's how I can really classify it. Yeah, love Nightmares Made Flesh. I mean, Cancer of the Soul, Brave New Hell, Outnumbering the Day, Eaten, Year of the Cadaver Race, Draped in Disease. Yeah, really, really enjoy Nightmares Made Flesh. Definitely recommend it. Michael Ackerfeld didn't sing on that album, but he did do some songs off that album at the Bloodbath Over Bloodstock album. Alright, next up. I got, yeah, like I said, I'm a huge Bloodbath fan. This is the Fathomless Mastery. This came out in 2008. This is a good one. I like this one. Although, in my opinion, not on the same level as Nightmares Made Flesh. I still think Nightmares Made Flesh is their best album. However, I'm not saying that the Fathomless Mastery is a bad album. I like this one. This is a good one. At the Behest of Their Death, Mock the Cross, Jesus, Devouring the Feeble. I can't believe I'm reading half those songs, but yeah, really enjoyed the Fathomless Mastery. After the Fathomless Mastery and Bloodbath Over Bloodstock, Michael Ackerfeld actually left the band, and I don't know if he's still with Opeth or not. He might still be, I'm not sure. But then they had to find a new lead singer, and they did, with Nick Holmes of Paradise Lost, and they would put out this one right here, Grand Morbid Funeral. This came out in 2014. Love, love, love Grand Morbid Funeral. I love this one. This is my second favorite Bloodbath album. Nightmares obviously being number one, but this is my second favorite one. Yeah, love this album. Love Grand Morbid Funeral. In my opinion, I don't think Bloodbath has a single bad album. That's why they're my favorite death metal band. I mean, Let the Stillborn Come to Me just to start it off. Then right into Anne, Church of Astidos, Beyond Cremation, last track to close things out. Yeah, love it. I love Nick Holmes's vocals on it. It's great. Alright, last one for this part. The Arrow of Satan is Drawn. This came out in 2016, either 2016 or 2018 that this came out. Not a lot of people really like this one by Bloodbath. I don't understand why. Or people say this is their weakest album. But I really like The Arrow of Satan is Drawn. Now, like I said, it's not one. People keep saying that it's not Bloodbath's best album, but you know what? In my opinion, it's one of their best. I really, really like The Arrow of Satan is Drawn. I mean, Blood Aside, March of the Crucifiers, Chainsaw Lullaby to close things out. Definitely recommend The Arrow of Satan is Drawn. I don't have Survival of the Sickest, and I actually have yet to listen to that. I've heard Carved off that, and it really sounds like Eaten. Off the Nightmares Made Flesh album, obviously. Alright guys, so that's it. That's it for part 1 of my rock and metal CD collection. Come on back for part 2. Part 2, we're going to have a lot more terrain to cover. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this one, please comment, like, and subscribe down below. Be sure you hit the bell notification as well so that way you don't miss any more videos like this in the near future. Thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure you support me on Patreon down below. I'll probably have this out on Patreon as well. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.